Hello. Good morning. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. Hopefully I don't talk too softly. If I do, please shoot the volume up. I'm just a soft talker, and it's really hard for me to raise my voice loudly. I feel like this video will have no context if you haven't watched the other videos, but I have memory issues. Hi, hello, my name is Mila. If you've never been here before, if you've been here before, welcome back. So if you don't know, maybe you should watch the other videos, but I generally have a lot of memory gaps. I don't remember much, but the things that I do remember tend to be like basically nightmares, so to speak. I remember things that aren't so pretty versus ever remembering fun things. Like, I never remember fun things that happened to me or anything like that, but I always remember like nightmares. But actually, since going to therapy for the last couple times, I'm starting to remember so many more things, and it is sort of a blessing and a curse, because I'm starting to remember things, which is great, because not remembering things is really stressful. Like, having your friends and people around you always telling stories, and also your family. If your family ever tells stories and they're like, "You remember when we used to do this to you?" Haha, and I'm like, no. My sister was telling this story about how they used to chase me around with hair because I was so afraid of hair. And I'm not trying to make my sister feel bad or anything, or my sisters, because I guess they all did it to me, my sisters, brothers, but you shouldn't do that to people. I feel like most siblings do that to each other, but I think I just happened to have been like a fucked up kid, like I had like a messed up brain, not fucked up, like, but like my brain was like, I don't know, not stable or something, because like doing that to me, I think just like hurt me worse. Like, I'm sure I didn't enjoy being chased around with hair if I was afraid of hair. I do not remember being chased around with anything I was afraid of, but I'm sure that was not pleasant for me. People shouldn't do that to each other, even if they're your siblings. You shouldn't torment them if they seem generally upset. Oh god. Okay. The maggots and the squirrel. I'm gonna disassociate while I'm trying to tell this story. I can already tell you right now, because I'm getting really disgusting, gross, triggered, nasty feelings when I think about it. Back in the house that I can remember, pretty much the main house that we lived in that I can remember, which was about, I don't know, I'm probably gonna say this wrong because I can't remember, but I'm sure it was between 8 and 9, maybe even 7, 8, 9 to like 13 or 14 or 15, I think. Anywhere for about 5 years. We lived in that house for about 5 years, and I was a young kid. And when my sister moved out, my older sister moved out, I moved into her room, because me and my other sister, shared a room and bunk beds, and we hated each other. And we literally, I'm sure it wasn't real pure hate or anything, just sibling hate. Sibling hate. I don't even think that's a real thing. I really don't. Me and my sister don't fight at all now. But me and my sister used to get into like violent, like full on violent fights. Punches, hair pulling, biting, choking, like basically trying to murder each other. I'm not sure why, and I don't even remember most of those fights, but I do remember fighting with her a lot. And I've always been about 100 pounds, so I'm gonna make the guess and say she was mostly fighting me, because she's always been bigger than me, taller than me. No, she wasn't big, she's tall, quite a bit taller than me actually. She's like 5'7" or 5'8" now, and I'm 5'1", barely 100 pounds. So I'm just gonna say, I'm not trying to make her feel bad, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm pretty sure I was the one getting beat up in this situation. I doubt I was like kicking her butt. If I was, then go me. I can kick butt now. Maybe that's why. I think I can kick butt now, because like we were violently fighting each other. So now it's like I don't fight anybody, but if I did, like, watch out. Your girl's a trained fighter, okay? Anyway. So I moved him to my sister's room, mostly because I felt comfortable with my sister. On my last bedwetting video, I told you guys about how I used to pee on myself all the time. And my sister would clean me off and let me sleep with her. She's like the best person ever. She's so sweet for doing that. I mean, I don't even remember her doing that. Like, I honestly do not remember sleeping with her. I've said this in my last video, but memories are very weird. It's like I remember, but I don't remember. It's like remembering a memory or a picture somebody else shared with you, right? It's like somebody shows you a home video of their life. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like it's there and I know it happened, but I don't remember it. But anywho, she just let me sleep with her, so I just loved her room, and all of her stuff was still in it. So I went and slept in her room all the time, but I didn't really like sleeping in there by myself, and I just never liked sleeping by myself anyway. I don't actually remember ever peeing the bed after that, though. I don't remember peeing on myself in her room ever, but I did pee on myself at school all the time. I'm not really sure what's going on with that situation. But in that room, we had a large hole in the ceiling. My dad and brother would fix all the time. And, you know, when you live in a place like that, it's like, I mean, we were poor. We fixed it ourselves, but of course it continued to break. So sometimes there was still a hole in the roof, you know. I'm not trying to say nobody fixed it. We tried to fix it a couple times. So every time it rains, you pretty much get a new hole in your roof. That's how it works if you're poor and you live in the ghetto. Like, I don't know if you know that. Y'all probably don't know that. That's how it works. Until somebody tries to fix it again. I woke up one morning to the very intense sounds of something screaming like it was in pain, and I thought it was a demon. That was my first guess, was demon. At the time, I got sleep paralysis. I used to get sleep paralysis. So if you know what that's like, you actually physically see demons, or what your brain manifests as demons, I guess. Are they demons? Probably not. But you can see them. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But basically, your brain makes your body go to sleep and you're paralyzed, but your brain stays awake. But it's also sort of dreaming. It's kind of a weird thing. I'll tell you guys about my experiences with that in another video if you want. But I thought I was seeing demons. I thought I was hearing demons because I had already been seeing them, basically. But it was screaming. It was like, all I heard was like, it sounded like a monster. And long story short, it was a squirrel. And I did not know that squirrels made that noise. I had no idea. And it might have been more than one squirrel. I never did find out. It's part of the story. So I was terrified to wake up. I was awake, but I was terrified to get out of the bed. I didn't know what the noise was, and I was terrified. But I could hear it, and I knew where it was. I could hear it behind the dresser. And so when it finally stopped making noise, which was probably a good hour later, I was too afraid to say anything, to scream, to get up, or anything like that. So I just waited until it stopped, which is, now that I think about it, my normal trauma response. Go figure. It's to freeze and to completely disassociate as if I'm not there. That's exactly what happened. I remember sitting there laying in the bed and being like, nope. I had my hands covering my ears, and I was just like, no, I can't. What is this? What is happening? I didn't know what was happening. I was so confused. When it finally stopped making noise, I did get out of bed and I left, and I never went back into the room. I don't even know if I told anybody, to be perfectly frank. I cannot remember. I feel like I probably did, because I was so scared that I might have ran out of there like, whoa, my God, I'm terrified. But at the same time, I never told anybody anything, I don't think. Like, I never really spoke, or told anybody how I was feeling or anything like that. And it's probably just because I thought nobody was listening or somebody was going to punch me in the face. I don't know. we were fighters. I don't know. We were also really loving, but we also fought. I don't know if you can simultaneously really, feel loved from, people that you love if they're, violently punching you in the face. I'm not really sure. I love my sister now, but she was punching me in the face. I'm sure I was punching her in the face, too, but I mean, we were children. Why on earth were we punching each other in the face that hard? I don't know. I also remember my sister kicking my brother down the stairs. It's just bleeding from his mouth, like all the way down the stairs. Sorry, sister. But I do remember that. And it has traumatized me. Anyway. Anyway. I'm not sure if I ever told anyone. I'm thinking that I did, but who knows if I did or not. This comes the worst part of the story, though. I don't know if I ever went back in that room, or how many times, or how long it had been, and I don't know how much time has passed at this point. But one day I'm walking back, and I see flies covering my room, like covering the whole door, like the whole entryway. Like, it looks like what my hair looks like. A big black mass. It's so gross. Oh my god, it's so gross. I haven't been able to unsee this since I was a kid, mind you. Like, it's been burning like acid in my brain. Like, I haven't been able to unsee it. But I can't hear anything anymore. And like, in a lot of my dreams, I can't hear anything. Or in dreams, memories, like there's no noise. I don't remember the flies making any noises, but you know that they do. I have this huge like brain like fucking aneurysm. I don't know what you call it. Not an actual aneurysm. I'm just really dramatic. Sorry. My brain hurts every time I hear a fly now. Or B, if anything buzzes near my ear, I instantly flip out. Like, I completely flip out. Like, I'm like, I know I'm doing it now. Sounds suddenly weird and silly, but like, that was an actual response because I like heard it in my ear as I was saying it. I like heard it and I was like, fuck, stop. It's just a horrible response I get from hearing that fucking buzzing noise. So I'm walking back into the room and I'm kind of far down the hallway. We had a really long shotgun style hallway, so I was walking pretty far away, but I saw it from far away. It was just a disgusting huge black mass over covering my whole door, like the white part above the door, you know, like the entryway. Oh my god, you guys, there had to have been maybe 5,000 flies, and they weren't moving, so you could only surmise that they were eating and or making babies. Oh, gross. Oh god. I don't know if I ever went back in my room, to be honest with you. I'm sure I did eventually. The scariest part is that I do not remember whatever happened to these flies. I don't know if my parents got rid of them. I remember them being there for days. Now, that could be my memory being totally fucked up. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I remember them being there for days. And I remember staring at them like this. Like when I think back at it, I'm completely and utterly disgusted. But at the time, I just remember staring at them like, what is happening? You know, I don't know. But there were maggots, and there were a lot of maggots. So what I'm gonna assume is that the squirrel died behind the dresser. Obviously, it was dying. That was the noise it was making. And I guess you know what flies do after that. They maggot everything up. And the maggots go and eat the squirrel from the inside out. I think that's what happens. That's really disgusting. I've never looked it up. I just logically, I think from going to school, I think that's what happens. And I actually remember seeing maggots in other places as well. So that's why I think I assumed there was more than one squirrel. There were maggots I found in like one of my bags in the closet, which is probably because there was a squirrel dead in there, more than likely. But I actually remember me and my brother and my sister like being so fascinated by them sometimes, like when they were in the bag, and we would like take them outside and we were like, what the fuck? But our house also had a lot of rats. We had like rats and mice and roaches and like everything. So part of the maggots could have honestly been from the rats and not the squirrels. But as I said, I feel like if my parents or siblings ever see this video, I'm like, what the fuck? But, oh my god. I don't know why that was such a triggering thing for me, but like, I have actual nightmares. I don't know why it makes me feel so terrible and so bad and so gross. And I don't know if it's part of the reason why I have like this weird OCD now. Not even just the ear thing, which I think might be some form of PTSD or something. Cause I literally like, oh my god, like a full blown panic attack when I hear things like buzzing in my ear, and when I think about it, gross. I know a lot of people probably have never seen maggots before, not in an actual like nasty way. Like if you've ever owned like a lizard, you've probably seen maggots, right? Because they eat little tiny little worms. Those probably aren't quite the same. I don't know if those are actual maggots or just some other type of little silkworm or something. But if you've lived in the ghetto, you've seen some things. Every time I see squirrels now, I'm just like, I hate squirrels. And we lived in another house after that, and I lived in the room that was in the attic. It was nice, but it was in the attic, and there was this window where the squirrels lived right outside. They lived like a family of squirrels lived right outside my window, and I remember having panic attacks like every single day because I would hear these fucking squirrels screaming, and they would be screaming. And like I said, that was the first time before with the maggots was the first time I'd ever heard squirrels make a noise. I didn't know squirrels made noises. And so when we moved into the next house and I heard all the squirrels, as you can figure, every single time I heard it, I'd be like, no, like I'm just shaking and like freaking out. I think the hardest part about not having memories, or not having them all, or not being able to see them clearly, is that part about not knowing if anybody helped me, or if my parents figured it out, or if I ever even told anybody, because I know I kind of felt like so alone that I might not have told anyone, that I might have just dealt with it. I'm definitely just a deal with it type of person. Like even now, like any type of pain or anything that I'm in, I'm just like, I'll just deal with it till it goes away. It's not healthy, but it is what it is. You know, you can only be how you've been until you notice you're doing it, and then you can figure it out, right? Alright guys, thanks for listening to my story time. I'm sorry that they're all depressing, but that is my life, and thanks for getting to know me if you stayed all the way through this video. I have lots of other crazy story times and stories about my rough ghetto upbringing. I don't mean to make my parents or anybody feel bad or anything like that. I mean, we're all just people, and we're all just trying, right? We're all just trying to get by. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good Monday, and I'll see you later. Okay? Oh, make sure you subscribe to my channel, please. Every subscription and like on the video helps. So, oh, I made a video. I'll tell you guys. I made a video. I went and my therapist was trying to figure out ways to jog my memories because I was having so much stress about not remembering anything. And the suggestion was to like look at pictures and stuff like that. So I toured my old neighborhood. Why did I want to torture myself? I don't know. Creature habit. Like torturing myself. I drove around my neighborhood. It wasn't pretty. I have a video of me crying, which has never existed on this earth. There is not a picture or a video of me shedding one emotional tear, or even generally being emotional, I guess, but definitely not crying. I was filming this video and I literally was crying, and I looked down and saw it was still filming, and I was like, oh my god, my cry face in the video was like not pretty. If you guys would like to see a tour of my hood, my neighborhood in the ghetto, I'd be happy to show you. I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.